Hello and welcome to Sussex, Wisconsin for the 2017 Barbiere's Italian in Classic. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brilo. Some tough bowling out here on this 40-foot pattern today, Phil.
Yeah, we call it a shot maker's pattern for a reason. You had to throw great shots to get strikes, and you had to make sure you picked up your spares today to get anywhere in the field. Only 2 of our players averaged over 200 of the big field we had here earlier today. We're down to our final 5, and our first match should be interesting because it's 3 bowlers vying for 1 spot to get into the semifinal match. That wild card should be a lot of fun.
So lots of bowling action coming your way next in semifinal match 1 here from Sussex Bowl in Sussex, Wisconsin. We'll be right back.
My first mission, defuse a bomb. My next mission, rescue hostages. Then, I was chosen to protect a VIP. All that, and not even a scratch.
Hard Knocks is the world's largest indoor combat simulation arena. Experience real-life combat situations with realistic weaponry using no projectiles. Come to Hard Knocks and choose your mission today.
Are you ready to play? Hard Knocks, beyond laser tag, your indoor war.
Welcome back to Sussex, Wisconsin, the 2017 Barbiere's Italian in Classic here at Sussex Bowl. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brilo, fast-forwarding through our wild card match here, Phil.
Yeah, through the first couple of frames we had him bowl before we get started today. Freddie Pearson struggles early off the left side, leaves the 3-7-9, gets 2 on the count. First time appearance on TV for Jennifer Zich. Jennifer, pretty conventional game there. Rolls up on it, leaves the 2, 5, and 8, and the unconventional spare attempt at it. Missed it so bad she made it, Van.
Spare's a spare, and then the legendary Brent Boho, the Boho bowling legends.
Yeah, and Brent takes the messenger down on the first shot for the opening strike. Into the second frame, Freddie Pearson makes the overcorrection from the first frame. Leaves the 2, 4, and 8, and only gets 2 on the spare. Problems for Zich. Follows through, a little through the nose, and on this tough 40-foot pattern, it's not easy for these players to keep the ball off the nose, not allow a hold in the middle, gets 0 on the spare attempt. And Brent Boho, he's putting the pressure on his opponents early, Van.
That low approach and that high rev rate and pin power at the end.
And Brent Boho gets out to an early lead in this wild card match. 3 bowlers into the match, only 1 bowler advancing out. And you see that great pocket strike on the replay there by Brent Boho. And now we're back to action here with Freddie Pearson the 4th.
20-year-old out of Muskego.
We've seen Freddie on TV a couple of times, and it's never easy on these tougher sport-type conditions for lefties to make the show, but he made it out here today. Take the break on the strike there.
Brooklyn side, as I say, strikes a strike.
I want to thank Stefan and Cassie Hainan, the managers here at Sunset Bowl, for bringing us in. First time we've been here, 10 years on Spectrum Sports here at Sussex Bowl. I'm glad they had us here.
Beautiful, beautiful house here as we check out the 17-year-old Jennifer Zich out of Waukesha. Made that adjustment, light pocket strike.
Maybe just the early frame jitters for Zich, but looked pretty good on that shot. And Jennifer actually beat all but 1 of the boys out here today on this tough 40-foot sport pattern. Relatively flat, only about a 2-to-1 oil ratio on this pattern, and Jennifer, quite the shot maker today.
Brent Boho, the hometown boy. And the 2-hander with that low crouching approach, though not enough rev rate, Phil, to find the pocket.
Well, he's using a ball that doesn't have a lot of surface on it. He's really trying to get that ball to push through the oil pattern. 20 feet of dry to deal with, and he's playing well inside of where we saw a lot of our players today, thanks to Brent's rev rate. He has to make sure that he doesn't get over pushed from playing that deep. He has to really make sure he keeps his angles relatively closed and just make quality shots.
So you're saying the way Brent bowls, he's a 2-handed bowler, this could be a double-edged sword, and he could kind of give himself a difficult time as he carves out the oil pattern out there?
Well, you just don't want to get too far left too early, because then it makes the ball a little skittish. they're bowling on the remnants of the oil pattern that was left here from qualifying earlier today, so there's quite a bit of wear on the lane already. If you make that jump too far left, if you're Brent, you get all that oil in the front part of the lane, and the ball just doesn't have time to react on the back part. Where with somebody like Freddie, he's on the left side, it's pretty pristine. He was one of only 2 lefties in the field today. If he gets hot, he knows it's not going to change a lot, and he can stay there and really pound some strikes together in a row.
Yeah.
Don't count Freddie or Jennifer out of this match yet.
Freddie out there on the left side all by himself. Jennifer Zitch here out of Waukesha, bowls at Sunset Bowl. That's her home house.
Good push down lane and almost got the trip into it.
Not grabbing there on the back end. Maybe a ball speed issue.
Well, there's still a lot of volume in this pattern, even though it's 40 foot. It's been played on for a while. As the bowlers move left, they're using that oil, trying to use it to their advantage. The problem is that if you get a little fast with the speed, oil obviously inhibits friction. Friction is what the ball needs to hook.
The difference between the house shot and the sports shot here. I thought she missed that. She kind of fell out of it, but she was right on point there, Jennifer.
Well, you can see the reaction that she had. Her timing is off a little bit. She
Right.
held the ball a little bit long in the push away, and then had to catch up coming through, fell off balance. The ball still somehow managed to stay on line. She didn't get a lot of fingers into the ball because of the bad leverage, so it kind of worked out for her.
19-year-old Brett Boho. Oh, the rep 10.
And that's one of the situations where, like I said, Brent's really has to watch his angles. That ball starts coming in a little bit too late back to the pocket. You can see he's thinking, what did I do on that shot? What can I do to get that 10 pin out? You just see the ball deflect. It's a little bit too much of that 3 pin. It's right square in the 1-3 pocket. Next thing you know, it's trouble for Brent.
I would imagine that Mr. Boho here is great at the limbo contest. He gets down there on that approach.
Yes, he does. And helps him maintain his leverage, helps him get through the shot, and not the conventional form we see out of two-handers nowadays. But you do what makes it work for you, and he's done it successfully the last couple of seasons.
You have to be a 19-year-old to get down that low. I certainly can't do that. And then a more traditional style here in Freddie Peterson IV, the 20-year-old out of Muskego.
Let's see what we can do here. High Five Gear, 5th frame, $25 gift certificate from High Five Gear up for grabs for a strike. And a 3-bagger.
Pretty strike. I like his style.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Like I said, you can't count Freddie out in this match. Once he got himself lined up, got the nerves gone a bit, and next thing you know, he's got a 3-bagger on the board, and he's back within 1 mark of Brent Boho.
And notice his candor often. He follows through on a shot, he finishes. Doesn't get too excited, goes back, gives his competitors a high five, and is talking it out, keeping himself calm, and that's part of the game as well. As Jennifer hits that light pocket. Nice mixer strike there.
Another $25 coming out of High Five Gear for a gift certificate for one of those great jerseys you see these players wearing. And boy, any style you want, they can make it for you at High Five Gear. You see 3 different distinct styles on the jerseys here. Distinct style of the bowler, distinct style of the jersey as well.
And what you may not know, the viewer watching here, Wisconsin's very own out of Waukesha.
Absolutely. Looking for 3 for 3 on the gift certificates.
Oh my goodness. What a break for Brent Boho. $25 gift certificates all around, courtesy of our friends at High Five Gear. Don't go anywhere. More of the 2017 Barbiere's Italian Inn Classic continues from Sussex Bowl.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Welcome back to Sussex Bowl here in Sussex, Wisconsin. It's the 2017 Barbiere Italian Inn Classic. As we fast forward through our wild card match here, second half of it, Phil, taking a look at Freddie Peterson's 6th frame.
Yeah, Freddie was on the string. Throws the ball left, stays left. Unconverted washout puts him back down by a bunch of sticks to Brent Boho. Jennifer Zitch, a little trouble through the nose, breaks up the split. However, keeps herself clean. Only 1 open so far this game for her first time on TV. Not a bad effort to this point.
We left the break with Brent Boho striking that High Five Gear $25 gift certificate in the 5th frame. Does he make it 2 here in the 6th? Ooh, trips that 10.
Yeah, gets it out, gets that lead out to over 30 pins on both his opponents with a double. Freddie Pearson with the bounce back strike, though, on the 7th. Don't count him out yet. Jennifer Zitch gets a strike of her own. Both these bowlers get a chance to pull close. And Brent Boho says, nah, I'm just going to extend the lead. I'm just going to shred the rack.
A 3-bagger for Boho. Or Broho. What's up, bro?
And, yeah, Brent out to the early lead in this match. He hasn't let it go. And you can see with powerful shots like that when the 5-pin just shreds into the 7. It's going to take all strikes the rest of the way for his two opponents to have any chance to try to advance to the semifinal match against Dylan Schaefer. And then waiting in the wings, Jalen Haynen, our leading qualifier today out of the boys and girls, really tore it up well in this 40-foot shot maker's pattern. And you see that a lot with these tournaments where spares are key. You usually see the young ladies come into play more. Guys just in high school, they think, I got to do a strike. They're bowling the league. Oh, if I leave an open frame, I can throw a 4 or 5 bagger to make up for it. You couldn't do that in this tournament pattern this week. We only had 2 players average over 200, and Jalen being one of those during qualifying.
Jennifer Zitch, the 17-year-old out of Waukesha, has found her line. That's another strike for Jennifer.
Well, Freddie and Jennifer both knocked 10 pins off of Brent's lead with a double in the 7th and 8th frame. Problem is, Brent's working on a 3-bagger. If he gets out the 4 in a row, it's pretty much match over getting into frame number 9.
Brent Boho coming from that Boho bowling dynasty.
Yeah, we saw his brother Ian make a run in the boys Top Gun High School Classic this year, just falling short in that championship match to Andrew Olson out of Sun Prairie.
Brent, Storm Youth champion, also competed in the Top Gun and trips that 10-pin for a 4-bagger.
10-pin tried to stay up past his bedtime, and the Sandman said, I don't think so. The slow roll out by the head pin coming back across the pin deck. And it just
almost got caught up there in a conversation with that other pin.
Yes, indeed, and still managed to roll its way across. And now, unfortunately for Freddie and Jennifer, it's just a matter of pride getting off the sheet. Boho pretty much wrapping up the match with that 8th frame strike.
Smooth, effortless style of Freddie Peterson IV. I'm expecting big things from this kid.
Well, he's been working hard. He just got done with his freshman year down at Robert Morris University in the Chicagoland area.
Oh boy, and that's a known bowling school.
Yeah, so getting the practice in between classes and getting the great coaching they have down there. It's just a matter of, for a lot of these kids, they got to start reading the lane patterns a little bit better, watching the ball reaction a little bit more. And I think that's just where Brent's kind of gotten ahead of the game here between himself and Zick and Peterson, is that, well, you look at the ball reaction, and he's picking up the changes in a little bit more subtly than his opponents are. And I think that's given him the difference in this match.
Right. Again, the competitors commiserating with each other, talking, have a good time. You're competitive out here, but you're still together in support of the sport. As Jennifer not able to trip out the 10-pin there. I thought she was gonna.
Yeah, Zitch, you can see there. She's been around the pocket most of this game. Only a couple of errant shots, and with as tough as this pattern played for everybody, I wouldn't say it's similar to what the U.S. Open has been over the last couple of years
right.
For bowling's version of it, but relatively tough for these young players. And, you know, we didn't see, as you see, we don't see a lot of crankers in the finals here, but Brent Boho, he revs it up, but he's also a heck of a shot maker as well. You got to give the two-handers credit when credit's due. When he's needed to make shots today, he's done it.
Brent Boho, that controversial two-handed style. Either you love it or you hate it.
There's no controversy, man. It's just an evolution of the game, and you know, when you get a couple of players that have done it since they were, you know, Jason Belmonte started doing it when he was 18 months old, because that's the only way he could hold on to a bowling ball.
Ooh, that needed to hurry. Held, though, surprisingly.
Yeah, I think Brent realized on that shot he made a mistake on it, getting down to the swing. The timing was a little late, so he just kind of pushed it through, and you can see the revolutions, not as many as we saw in previous shots.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, it's kind of a feel thing on the bottom for some of these players, and Brent using that feel successfully on that shot. And with the match no longer in doubt, we're just going to fast forward through for both these players. Both these young players taking home not only their $25 high five gear gift certificates for the 5th frame strikes, but also a $25 Visa gift card for them to use. Well, they can use on a high five gear jersey,
yeah, there you
maybe
go.
buy a new bowling ball. But they get a Visa gift card to use as well. And we want to thank Sussex Bowl for providing those gift cards, as do all our host centers during our Hard Knocks Road to Gold series this summer.
Jennifer finishes out.
And people may wonder, well, how can kids get gift cards for bowling? I thought they're amateurs, they're not eligible for things like that. Well, in Wisconsin, it's not a WIA-sanctioned sport. It simply just goes by the rules of the USBC. And the United States Bowling Congress says that young players can receive gift cards up to $500 in value as long as they can't get cash for it. These bowlers need equipment, they need jerseys, they need a new pair of shoes, and hey, no better way to let them work their way towards buying those than by awarding them gift cards. So it's just a really good rule that the USBC has that helps these players get more equipment that they need to participate in the sport. As Freddie Pearson leaves the 1-5 on the last shot with a little celebratory fist pump. And tell you what, not bad games for Freddie or Jennifer right there, no doubt about it. It's just a matter of Boho throwing a good game. He's on a 5-bagger right now, and something tells me Brent here's going to try a little area check. Looks like he's moved his feet a little bit farther left on the approach from previous shots. He's probably going to see what kind of reaction he gets with getting deep and looping the ball a little bit more.
You know, you have such a great game going. You think you'd want to go off the sheet, Phil. But I understand trying something a little different going into this championship match.
And you can see they're too far left to start with. The ball gets to the actual dry part of the lane. It uses too much energy to try to tip back, and it actually rolled out. That ball had nothing on it when it was getting into the pocket. And, hey, this match pretty much done. Let's get out of here, Van, get ready for the semifinal.
All right, more of the 2017 Barbiere's Italian In Classic continues here from Sussex Bowl in Sussex, Wisconsin. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
My first mission, defuse a bomb. My next mission, rescue hostages. Then, I was chosen to protect a VIP. All that, not even a scratch.
Hard Knocks is the world's largest indoor combat simulation arena. Experience real-life combat situations with realistic weaponry using no projectiles. Come to Hard Knocks and choose your mission today.
Are you ready to play? Hard Knocks, beyond laser tag, your indoor war.
Welcome back to Sussex, Wisconsin semifinal action here at Sussex Bowl. It's the 2017 Barbiere's Italian In Classic. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brilo. Our first look here, Phil, at Dylan Schaefer, the 19-year-old out of Racine, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Dylan, one of only 2 players to average over 200 on this tough 40-foot shot makers pattern today. You can see with tripping 410s like that, Dylan doing a lot of that today and keeping he's one of the best young spare shooters out there. Dylan kept himself in play, kept the ball in play, and got himself into a second place finish coming into the stepladder. Bad part is that you got a bowl on the hottest hands in bowling in the state of Wisconsin right now, in Brent Boho.
The hometown boy, the 19-year-old out of right here, out of Sussex, Wisconsin. Look at that unique approach. Down low, the two-hander takes an odd step back. I know everyone has their different styles and whatnot, but not your typical two-hander here,
Well,
Phil.
the problem for Brent is right now is he's got that big old thing called a ball return in his way in the left lane trying to get deep. So instead of trying to walk around it or set up in front of it, which really doesn't leave him a lot of room, you can see here on the left lane he's got plenty of room. He's on the back of the approach. He's not going to use that timing step like he's using on the right lane. So that's basically the difference. You see where he just gets himself going forward there. He's just working different ways to get his momentum to the line and work with his timing. And that's not easy to do. That's a lot of practice. But when these young players like Dylan and Brent, they get in these college tournaments, there's a lot of times the oil patterns go away, the bowlers need to go left, and when they're on that right lane, they need to find a way to go around the ball return. Brent's way is just shortening the approach.
The battle of the 19-year-olds, but that you got to generate that power from somewhere, and he's such a little man. And Dylan Schaefer here, out of Raytown, high through the head.
Yeah, Dylan just left in that shot, and as we said, shot maker's pattern, not a lot of room to make things happen.
Now, you say shot maker's pattern, it's about 40 feet in length. Versus a house shot with a typical league bowler, what is the difference there, Phil?
Well, basically it's just the amount of oil in the middle. Most house patterns are between 38 and 42 feet long, and they put a big puddle of oil in the middle to help keep your ball in line when you make an errant shot. This pattern doesn't have the puddle. These bowlers make an errant shot. They know it right away. You can see the difference in the ball reaction as it goes down the lane. It doesn't sit in that oil and rev all the way down when the bowler makes a mistake to the left, and it doesn't overhook back when the bowler makes a mistake to the right. We saw Brent Boho's 10th frame last game, a prime example of that. The ball just kind of turned over,
Right.
did nothing on the way back, had to use too much energy, and had nothing left on the back end.
If you're a league house bowler that is watching, you definitely need to give it a go on a sport pattern. Depending on the house, they can lay it out for you, but it definitely is a night and day difference. And if you're looking at TV and maybe the pros or even some of the kids here, I can bowl better than that. Not on this pattern.
Yeah, and really, you have to make quality shots, and you have to have a great spare game. You're not
Right.
going to, when you're leaving a lot of 2 and 3 pin combinations, you have to make sure you're covering both or 3 pins with the ball, that type of thing. So it really helps you improve on your spare game more than anything.
Boho continuing where he left off in that last game before the 10th frame field goal.
Gee, just let's start with 3 in a row again for Brent Boho, and that's the key. Put your opponent under pressure early. He's going to have his opponent down right now by at least 19 pins if he goes 9 spare here in the 4th frame. If he strikes here in the 4th frame, he's going to have him down by 30, and that's always tough as an opponent to come back from. You have to start stringing strikes, and on a tough pattern like this, it's not easy to do.
Brent's got the hot hand. I'm predicting another strike here for sure.
It's funny how Brent hides behind those tablets with his opponent's score out there.
Oh, got a little light and leaves the 7-pin, and he's thinking about it. What happened there?
Yeah, I don't think he's happy with the ball reaction the last couple of feet on the lane. Just didn't come up as far as he wanted. And you see his mom in the pink sweatshirt back there, Kim, his dad Tate, keeping an eye on things. And biggest cheerleaders, no doubt about it,
Yeah,
Mom and Dad.
absolutely. He says they are the greatest. Absolutely right.
So he switches to that polyester spare ball. He'll go dead straight at it. No problem covering up.
It's about the spares. 2 great spare shooters here in Brent and in Dylan.
It's just one of those games where you just kind of go, who's gonna blink first? We've seen both bowlers around the pocket the whole time, and just a matter of who's going to make that mistake where they go through the nose and leave a big split. Something tells me it may not be this young man.
Dylan looking to gain some ground. Gets a break.
He's got to make a move pretty soon. That's 3 out of 4 shots with trip 4s. Sometimes it's not easy to make that move when you know you're carrying. The bad part is that if Brent takes a little extra oil away on a shot and all of a sudden Dylan gets up the next frame and misses a little left, instead of being 4-pin trip, it goes high and leaves a 4-9, and all of a sudden that's a big momentum changer in a match.
Right. Had we had Freddie Peterson, the 4th, out here, it would have been a different game entirely with Freddie being the lefty. But you got 2 righties here producing a good number of revs. It's only a matter of time before one of their lines goes away.
Yeah, and Dylan Schaefer, no high 5 gear gift certificate for him this 5th frame as he leaves the week 10, and he made that little bit of a move. Unfortunately for him, didn't really catch all of it on the bottom. You see, he knows he's got a little work to come back up on, and it's always disappointing when you leave that corner pin, but there's always a reason for it too. Talked to a lot of guys on the PBA Tour. If you ever get a chance to bowl one of the Pro-Ams or with the ladies coming up in Green Bay, PWBA, and they'll tell you there's reasons why the corner pins get left, and that's why they make the adjustments, and that's why a lot of times they're champions.
And it's scary to make that change and make that adjustment. You may not have the confidence behind it, but that's part of the game as well. Make a decision, throw that ball with confidence, and hope that it's going to make the move that you're hoping it's going to make.
Exactly. Well, another chance for Bo here in the high 5 gear 5th frame. He's already got $25 and a gift certificate in his back pocket already. Can he make it 50?
I want to say, oh my gosh, trip 10-pin.
And that's where speed and revolutions come into play. He's got a little more speed than Dylan Schaefer does, and that was the big difference on that shot, is that the 10-pin has a little more momentum to get rattled out by the 6-pin.
You know the video game Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
I have that sound effect. He's on that right lane, and Brent takes that step back, and he just takes off. He's got all the room here on the left lane that he can generate enough speed and power.
But you just, the mental game to be able to change your timing and rhythm to go back and forth from lane to lane and make quality shots, that's a lot of work on the lanes.
And another break? No, a 7-pin laughing at you in the face.
That's kind of a bad break, but once again, a little bit of a momentum changer here. Bo leaves Schaefer in the match. You just see the 5 just kind of flop around there like a dead fish on the beach. shouldn't have any problem with the spare. Of course, we always say that from the booth. And hopefully, no black cloud thrown on this.
Easier said than done. They're either going to love us or hate us. Oh, he's got that 7-pin, no doubt. And no doubt we'll be back with more of the semifinal match, the Battle of the 19-year-olds, as the 2017 Barbiere's Italian Inn Classic continues next. Welcome back to the 2017 Barbiere's Italian Inn Classic out of Sussex, Wisconsin. Sussex Bowl is the place. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. And the battle of the 19-year-olds. 19-year-old Brent Boho and 19-year-old Dylan Schaefer of Racine.
Less than a mark separating these two players getting into the second half of this match.
Oh, goodness. Oh, that looked great.
Ring 10, I mean, it's just one of those shots where the ball's rolling pretty strong in the pocket. You're about a quarter inch either direction off from getting that 6 to bounce off the sideboard and take out the 10. Those are the tough ones for pros to take all the time. They know they need to maybe make a little bit of an angle change, especially if it progresses into a weak 10. But it's just tough to take, and wow.
Wow is right. I was just going to comment on the amazing spare shooters in both of these 19-year-olds.
You just can't afford to give away 11 pins to an opponent the caliber of Brent Boho. Now it goes from a single digit disadvantage for Dylan Schaefer to over 20 pins, and now it's time to start running strikes here in the 7th frame for Schaefer.
That's like Walter Ray missing a spare. I don't feel right, Phil. Oh, I feel better now after that shot.
Yeah, packs 10 back, but you see Brent Boho wasting no time getting down the lanes, and he's one of those guys where here comes the music from Jaws.
Right.
He's the shark in the water. He smells the blood, and he's going to go in and try to end this match here, stepping up in the 7th frame.
Look at this unique approach. He gets down there low. He takes that one step back and fires away.
Yeah, and that's just to get his timing, because he's only using, I believe, 4 steps forward here.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, absolutely.
Where he normally uses 6 steps. And you got to find a way to get that momentum when you're losing those first 2 steps. Well, Brent, in that case, it's just gun everything a little bit faster and make things happen.
Got to create your own way sometimes, no matter how unorthodox you may think it is.
And now, stepping up in the 8th frame, he strikes series up over 30 pins, Van.
Yeah, that's... I can close the door here on Dylan Schaefer.
And Schaefer can still max out at 237, but when Brent Boho's looking at 259 on the board, it's a lot of pressure on an opponent.
Plus, this is Brent's home house, an effortless strike.
Well, and you got to figure, as you said, home house, you feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
You bowl here quite often. Back in the day in high school, he bowled for Marquette University High School, so they didn't bowl here in Sussex, but bowling junior leagues here and bowling a lot of other tournaments, there's no place like home, as it was said during the Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Trying to be a strike wizard here, Dylan Schaefer.
Oh, a little help. Only the 7. And I got to go back, Phil, to that 6th frame and that missed 10 pin. That's the difference maker right here.
Well, it's just one of those ones where you kind of take away your own momentum, and it's just tough against an opponent the caliber of Boho. I hate to repeat myself more than once, but you know you're bowling a hot hand, and you know that the kid can pretty much strike at will even on these tougher conditions, and he's not giving you any advantages back. Brent hasn't missed a spare yet today, except for that 10th frame super washout last game. You know you got to make great shots, and now with Dylan Schaefer, I mean, his maximum right here is going to be 217, and Boho already pacing at 220.
Right, unless Boho has an egregious error, hits it off of his leg or something repeatedly, and that's going to go right there.
Yeah, Dylan just overthought that shot. You could see he was waiting on the push away, and you see the frustration come through, and it's not easy walking out with a 3rd place finish. He's going to take home a $35 Visa gift card, however, thanks to our hosts here at Sussex Bowl, Cassie and Stefan Hanen.
Shout out to Dylan's home house, the beautiful Castle Lanes down in Racine.
Absolutely. Phil and Patty Anko getting ready for another great league season down there. They got a busy summer, too, with volleyball and bowling leagues. And here tonight at Sussex Bowl, we were outside between breaks and watching a little bit of the beach volleyball they have here at Sussex Bowl as well.
Great establishment.
Now they're putting in a billiards room, and it's going to be pretty neat to see all the changes that are happening here at Sussex Bowl during the summer. If you get a chance, you're in the neighborhood, come on up, stop in, say hi.
Kind of fell out of the shot, didn't like it, but does not matter.
He knows it's him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing with these young players where they go, the lane's not right, blah, blah. Now, these young players know it's their mistake that they're making out there, why things are happening, and they know they need to make the adjustment on it. You see Boho staring that one down.
Yeah. The reaction post that shot, attitude has something to be said about out here on these lanes as well. That can take you out of a match as well.
Well, Brent Boho, he's going to be moving on to take on our top seed Jalen Haanen, and a little bit of a revenge match here possibly for Brent. He lost to Jalen at Jalen's home house, Sunset Bowl, last year, and Brent, his record in the matches on TV against the ladies over the last couple of seasons is 0-2, so he's looking to change that as well.
So it should be an interesting championship match.
And he's going to find a way to get that Week 7 pin out. We're going to fast forward through the end of this match with the outcome no longer in doubt. And boy, Dylan Schaefer, he probably, if he gets one shot back this game, he probably wants that 6th frame back.
Absolutely, the missed 10 pin.
Just kind of the beginning of the end for him.
Not much you can do about that split in the 9th. But changing your line.
Yeah, these two young players see each other a lot in college competition. Dylan bowls for Clark University in Iowa. And Brent Boho, part of St. Ambrose University in Iowa as well. So they see a lot of each other during the USBC collegiate season, and then coming home for the summer, see a lot of tournaments around here.
We will continue. Don't you go anywhere. Championship match between that man right there, the 19-year-old Brent Boho out of Sussex. That's next year as the 2017 Barbiere's Italian In Classic continues.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mound Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com.
Welcome back to the 2017 Barbiere's Italian In Classic. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. Championship bowling action commences now with this 19-year-old Brent Boho who's been tearing it up all day here, Phil.
Yeah, Brent taking on one of his nemesis from the last couple of seasons, Jalen Haanen. Jalen, one of only 2 players, averaged over 200 on this tough shot makers pattern today. Brent said, yeah, I may not have averaged over 200 earlier today, but I'm doing it now, so you better throw your best shots out here.
Boho bowling out of here, Sussex Bowl. Jalen bowling out of Sunset Bowl in Waukesha.
Yeah, and you know that last name, Haanen, we just mentioned earlier. Stephen Haanen and his wife, Cassie, the managers here at Sussex Bowl. So Haanen, a bowling family in the Waukesha County area, no doubt about it. And a little bit of nerves on that first shot. You saw Jalen not really post that one well.
No, that is something to be said out here on television. The lights are on. The pressure is on. It's the championship match.
Yeah, last time we saw Jalen on TV, she did take the title from Brent Boho in last year's Barbiere's Italian Classic, but last year that was at Sunset Bowl. And once again, we want to thank Mark Dempsey and all of his great staff at Barbiere's Italian Inn for sponsoring us again. They've been with us all 10 seasons we've been on Spectrum Sports.
That's great.
Looking forward to season 11 coming up in the fall. 11 seasons of bowling.
That's amazing.
I think we've almost not done the bowling game from back in the day.
Oh, boy.
Close.
Nice pocket strike from Jalen.
Yeah, big bounce back strike, and Boy, she's a tough competitor, no doubt about it. You look at those finishes she has there for junior gold, Van.
Absolutely.
Over the last couple of seasons, bowling that tough under 15 division. 25th one year.
9th in 2015, 50th in the U20 division in 2016.
And there's like 1,600 girls in that under 20 division at junior gold, and she finished in the top 50.
Meanwhile, a Storm Youth champion here can't take out that 7-pin. What happened?
Bad break. You stuff the pocket, you get every single bit of fingers in the ball, and you just watch that 2-4, and the 4-pin just goes straight back. The 2 gets too much to the front of the 4-pin, gets bounced around the 7, 4 goes straight back.
Yeah.
And
he's like, what? What just happened there?
it's just a little bit too much angle at the pocket. I wouldn't change a thing if I was Brent. Just make your spare and move on. There's bad breaks in bowling. You've got oddly shaped objects hitting other oddly shaped objects, and things bounce a little funny once in a while. I don't think he's too concerned with it, necessarily in the match.
But I'm sure thinking about what has happened in the past here with Jalen, and really like a win here.
Yeah, I mean, a big difference in the top prize today. $100 Visa gift card for the winner, $50 for second.
And now can't trip out the 10. What's going on?
Well, once again, ball just doesn't respond as much as he wants. You watch the deflection. You see that ball still didn't grab the lane.
Right.
And that's 47, 48 feet down the lane. He needs to get that ball picking up its roll a little bit earlier to get nice and strong at the pocket. He'll find a way to make the adjustment. It's just a matter of don't make an errant shot when you make the adjustment.
Right. Are we seeing some transition? Not to say we didn't see it in the earlier games, but
a little bit.
Jalen's style here along Brent's style is right up the middle, that similar line.
But yeah, and you look at where they're playing around the break point. They're both playing around 11th, 12th board at the break point, playing a very tight line, and as that oil gets dissipated from the back of the pattern, that's where it's the lightest, from 35 to 40 feet, and as the oil gets taken away, the ball might have a chance to hook up a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. If you're using some polyester balls though up the middle, it's going to make a little bit of hold, and it's a matter of finding where's their hold, where's their dry, where can I make the ball react properly at the back of the lane.
Jalen converts her spare. Started bowling at the age of 10.
Yeah, a little bit of a late bloomer. You think these kids who grow up in bowling centers, I mean...
Right.
Her dad, Michael Hayden, and mom, Trish, own Sunset Bowl, where we're going to have our next event with the High Five Gear Open. And always good to get back to Sunset Bowl as well. Lynn Tyree, great manager there for the Haynens, and she always puts on a good show for the kids as well.
Jalen making that adjustment, but not enough of an adjustment.
Yeah, I think that was just she's trying to get the feel of the direct line. She's just not relaxing it off the hand enough. Sometimes with those wrist devices like Jalen's wearing, sometimes you give it a little slight extra squeeze, and because you're staying that ball longer, all of a sudden your wrist can't go back at all, and it stays on the fingers a bit longer than you want, and it actually is going to project it a little farther left. She just needs to make sure she stays nice and relaxed. That wrist device will help impart a little bit of roll on the ball. Personally, I like to see kids get away from that. I think.
I was going to say.
I think there's plenty of. I think Jalen has plenty of strength where she can have the ability to repeat shots. I think as she gets older and gets a little stronger, I think maybe she might get away from that.
Brent Boho able to mix up the strike there with his high rev rate, and he's not happy about it.
Well, you just see he's not getting the reaction he wants down lane. He made the smash 7 hit. Now that one he makes a little adjustment. And almost the next thing you know, it goes long on me. So what am I going to do to make that happen again? And now he's up on the left lane, where last time up, he left that weak 10.
All that power. And maybe too much. Gets a lucky break in a 4-pin.
Yeah, I think he just needs to bring the speed down a hair. You just watch again. Well, if you get that close up, remember last time in this lane we saw the ball didn't get in its roll. You see right there, same thing again. It's just late getting into the roll. He's getting that ball to push through the end of the 40-foot pattern because of the surface of the ball and his roll. He just needs to make it roll up a little bit earlier. He can do that with hand position. He can just change it up a little bit and just come out a little bit more up the back of the ball and try to get the roll up a little bit sooner.
You know, as a one-handed bowler, as a traditional bowler, if you will, not hitting the pocket, I would be so lucky to leave a single pin like that. But with the rev rate that Brent brings to the table, my goodness.
So Jalen Haynen looking to step up here. Even match if she strikes here.
Using Paradox. Keeping that line, and her best ball of the match right there.
Yeah, nice and relaxed off the hand. You can see that ball actually had a little bit stronger roll than the previous shot where she left that 4-pin. Big strong roll, 6-pin kicks off the sideboard, and that's one thing that's always important. Making sure you have enough speed on the ball where that 6 can do a little work on the 10 in the flat gutter if it's not the perfect hit.
300 game under her belt. Her highest series, a 786.
See if she can build off the shot she just had for the $25 high-five gear gift certificate and a double in the 6th frame.
Let's see if she can keep that momentum going, or will Brent Boho come back and save face? Welcome back to the 2017 Barbiere's Italian Inn Classic, our championship match here between Jalen Haynen and Brent Boho, who's down by 10.
Yeah, Brent looking to try to put a double together. His opponent just did that in the 5th and 6th frames. Brent has his chance now with that 6th frame strike, but he's still down by 10 pins at a minimum right now.
Making the adjustment. I suppose these single pins get annoying after a while.
Yeah, and look at that ball just pick up a little bit sooner than we saw a couple other shots where he left the single pin. He knew he made a better shot, and he knows that he's got a chance to get back to even in this match here.
What's happening here? Is he trying to replicate what he does on the right lane to the left lane now?
Exactly. That's exactly it. He's got the feel. He wants to stay real close between both lanes because he's that far to the left. So he's just going to do the same thing on both lanes. That's a mark of somebody there who really wants to make sure everything is repeatable. And unfortunately for Brent right there, a little quick on the speed, ball doesn't pick up. He leaves the 2-pin, and he knows right now with his opponent working on a double, he's in trouble. And as we mentioned last year at this same event at Sunset Bowl, Jalen took Brent out in the championship match. And if Jalen can step up here and get her string out to 3 or 4 in a row in the 7th and 8th frames, it could be trouble for Boho.
I'm sure Brent is well aware of the situation as to what's going on. So is Jalen here.
You look at Jalen's feet right there, not to interrupt, man, but she moved a little bit farther back to the right, so she must be thinking that she's getting a little bit of carry down from what's going on between these two players.
Keeps her same line. Maybe a little bit of a break, but able to trip out that 9.
Yeah, strong roll. She maybe missed a board left, but the good ball speed on that shot keeps it on line and gets 10 back, and that gets her lead out to 20 pins.
Oh, boy.
And she can get it out to over 30 right now if she can strike here in the 8th frame and get her string out to, do we dare call it a ham bone?
Oh, how dare you, Phil.
Now that one, you look down, you look at her feet, and she moved a little bit left on that shot they approach. She must think one lane's playing a little bit tighter than the other. The left lane must be hooking a little bit more than the right. Good projection.
And a much better looking shot. So
it's all about reading ball reaction for these young players, and Jalen's reading it well right now. She saw what happened in a couple of previous shots. Even though she struck, made the adjustments as she went along, and you can't pack 10 back any better than Jalen Haynen did on that last shot.
Making that paradox work for her. Meanwhile, the 19-year-old Brent Boho here, throwing the high wire.
This match isn't done yet. Brent can max out for 229.
Needs this strike here to stay alive. Oh, what a break.
That silly 4-pin tried to stand up against the power of the head pin and had no chances. It was knocked silly straight up across the pin deck. When we get the replay, watch that 4-pin.
Yeah.
Zoom. That would have taken the 10 out. That would have been the messenger on that shot if the 10 would have tried to stand. And Brent knows he's not out of this yet. He's going to need some help from Haynen to get a chance to win. Haynen right now, if she goes spare, strike, spare on the way out, she's in the 220s as well. This is the foundation frame for sure for Boho. Any chance to win builds off of this shot.
Needs to go off the sheet for any chance. And he's dialed in now. Absolutely.
Well, you can't bowl defensively coming back up if you're Jalen Haynen, but you know you got to get at least marks in the 9th and 10th frame to put pressure on Boho in the 10th If she can strike here in the 9th and just get solid count in the 10th, she can shut out Brent Boho right now. Her maximum, 259. Strike here puts her in the 220s for sure. A strike and a spare locks out Boho. Great 5 steps to the line.
Looks good. Oh.
One board left of target from where she was last time. One board left on the break point. She was right over that dark board down lane the last frame when she took out that 9 late. This time just the board inside of it. You see there almost the 4-9. She knows she got a bit of a break on that one. You can see the smile. Take it out, please.
Yeah.
But she knows here, spare up, get a double in the 10th. I'm going home the champion and taking home that $100 Visa gift card for sure. Anything less, and it leaves a chance for Brent Boho to step up in the 10th and strike out to win.
Always a dramatic outing between these two bowlers here.
You wouldn't call it. Yeah, I'll call it a rivalry. I'll call it a rivalry. You wouldn't normally call it a rivalry, but you know, I'll tell you what, when you face each other in a couple of these championship matches with the formats we have here on the Hard Knocks Road to Gold series, it's usually a female and a male taking on each other in a championship match. And tell you what, for as good as these young ladies are, the young man can't take it as a sure win. Because the last couple of seasons, the ladies have been coming out on top much more than the guys have.
The 16-year-old out of Waukesha can't take out that 10-pin, wrap 10.
A great shot when you know you can lock up the match. A little bit weak on the roll at the pocket. Make the spare move on. If you strike here, it's 227. It's going to force Brent Boho to get double and 9 for 228 in the 10th. So first things first, you can't think ahead. Get up on the approach. Make the 10-pin. Never easy in any type of pressure situation like this. Take the extra time. Nice off the hand. Perfect.
Yeah, you don't want to leave it out there. You don't want any unforced errors.
Yeah, you want to think about what you're doing. You don't want to overthink about what you're doing at a 10-pin, because you just see so many times you overthink it. You get your push away late, and all of a sudden you get to the bomb and it grabs. You see Brent talking things over with mom and dad there.
Right.
So we'll have to see. He's smiling. He loves these pressure situations.
But he knows, to your point, the rivalry that has sprung up between these two bowlers. The 16-year-old in Jalen Hainan and 19-year-old Brent Boho. Waukesha versus Sussex.
So we'll have to see what Boho is going to need in his 10th frame after this shot.
Oh, boy.
And it's going to be a double and 9. And this is where you see what you're made of. So good response by Hainan, staying clean in the 9th and 10th, leaving the pressure on Boho. And I like both these young players, man.
Absolutely.
All I ever hope for when we get into TV is we get a good championship match. Doesn't get any better than this right now.
You see the smiles on the faces. Look at mom and dad. They know the situation. Let's see if Brent Boho can save face here. He needs this first strike to stay alive.
It's left.
Oh, no. Oh, no!
That was just left off the hand. He just pulled it through. You can see he's kind of facetiously patting himself on the back. And, yeah, just overthought it. Bad shot. You see Jalen with some high fives in the back. Jalen's taking home the $100 Visa gift card. Still a good day for Brent, though. $50 in high five gear gift certificates and $50 in a Visa gift card, thanks to our friends here, the Hainan family at Sunset Bowl, or at Sussex Bowl, I'm sorry. With Stefan and Cassie Hainan, the managers, and their Stefan's mom, Kim Stars Nicholas, the owner here. I want to thank Kim for all her support as well.
Oh, gosh. I suppose that's where you want to leave that, as he pats himself on the back one more time. But what a rivalry, what a battle there, as the 2017 Barbiere's Italian in Classic. We'll wrap it up next here out of Sussex Bowl.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Live, on demand, worldwide, Extra Frame is always on. It's the online bowling channel. Watch live qualifying rounds and match play from every PBA Tour stop and every PBA 50 Tour event on your big screen, PC, mobile phone, or tablet. Archived nationally televised shows and content is available 24/7. Extra Frame is always on. Subscribe now at www.extraframe.tv.
Welcome back to the 2017 Barbiere's Italian Inn Classic. We're going to recap the whole thing. What a great day of bowling here, but falling short, Mr. Brent Boho.
Tell you what, though, he had the chance. He ran the stepladder, got through the wild card match, got through the semifinal, gets in the championship match, puts up a great fight against Jalen Haynen, but Jalen gets that big four-bagger from the 5th through the 8th frames, really put the pressure on Brett in the 10th. Brett needed that double in the 10th frame to win. Threw a bad ball on the first shot, and Jalen Haynen takes home the title here from the Barbiere's Italian Inn Classic and the $100 Visa gift card thanks to our friends here at Sussex Bowl.
It's definitely a rivalry now between these two bowlers, and now the battle of the sexes, I guess, for whenever Brent makes a TV show.
Well, we'll have to see what happens on the next show. We're going to be at Sunset Bowl next, the High Five Gear Open, and maybe Brent will make another show, and maybe another woman might take him down. You never know. I guess everybody's going to have to watch.
For Phil Brilo and the entire crew here at Sussex Bowl, my name is Van McNeil. Sunset Bowl is next. Stick around here to Spectrum Sports.